Hey there, my friends. Okay, here's the thing. How do we overcome what's happening in the market today? Not only how do we overcome it, but how do we stay focused, stay diligent, and stay streamlined to get our results? That's in today's episode.
Welcome to the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
Hey there, my friends. Welcome again. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about not necessarily what's happening in the industry, but probably some of the things you're feeling right now when it comes to selling in the logistics market. Like, let's call a spade a spade. I'm not going to dwell much on, what's happening because I think you all know what's happening. It's a friggin' bloodbath out there. Okay. So that's the reality of it. It's taking longer to close deals. People are less engaged. Prospects have pretty much, two-thirds, maybe half the freight that they normally had, and they already have suppliers. There's a massive abundance of suppliers in the market. Now, that is dwindling each month, but the freight being so low, it's really capacity leaving the market is not turning the market the way most people anticipated, kind of Q1 happening. It's talking about being pushed out to Q2, Q3, all these kind of things. I don't think anyone really knows when the market's going to turn. Like on Data Day, we talk about it all the time, but we don't really know when the market's going to turn. It's guessing at this point. So I wanted to share with you some of the strategies that are working for me, and some of the strategies that hopefully will give you a better mindset and be able to digest what's happening in the market a little better. So I want to talk about 4 different things. I wrote them down in my book because I really wanted to distill this show into something that tangible that you can take away. So first thing we're going to talk about is realistic timelines and sales functions. So what are realistic timelines, right? Prior to the market we're in right now, realistic timelines were if you had a truck, you got business. Prior to that market, meaning the COVID market, realistic timelines were, you put an output out for 30 days and about 60 days, you'll get that output back. I think that timeline has stretched to like 90 and 120 days. I honestly do. I think we as sales reps need to adjust to the new timelines. I think as sales managers, if you're watching out there, VPs, all this kind of stuff, and if you're managing teams or if you're owners, you need to adjust to the new timelines and need to understand if you're going to bring a sales rep on that has no business, this is not a 90-day turnaround. It's more like 120 to maybe a 6-month turnaround to start seeing significant results, right? I think that's the first mindset shift that a lot of us have to adopt in today's market. We can engage with people. We can get replies. Do not expect business right away. It's not like it used to. Like even if you have a well-crafted, say, sales call or a well-crafted email and you do your research on the company and the person replies, there's a process that you have to go through in order to establish the business. Majority of clients that close real quick are price-driven clients, which means, talk about it all the time, that price changing is going to make your margins erode, okay? So, sales functions. In sales functions, I've said it a million times, I'm a huge email person. I love email, I love video selling. I love it over cold calls, and not because I'm afraid of cold calls. I just think people are sick of cold calls. Now, don't get me wrong. People are sick of emails too, okay? But I can express myself. I can test different things. I can do different things in emails that I can't do on sales calls, okay? I reserve sales calls, meaning utilizing my time because, again, a sales call takes a hell of a lot longer than crafting an email and getting it to the inbox. A sales call goes to voicemail. That voicemail probably gets deleted. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, Dan, emails get deleted too. They sure do. But if you have a great subject line and a really dynamic, I'm going to say, or personalized, you've done your research, you know what you're looking for and possibly what the prospect is looking for, that first line can engage them to read the email. And I'd love if there's any shippers out there watching this, just comment below and tell us what you're feeling when you get these things, because there's a lot of spray and pray happening. There's a lot of AI. People are like, the AI um, tsunami, I guess, if you want to say, for lack of a better word, is great because I do think there's productivity increases with AI. Like there's tools out there that summarize meetings and can send an email to you, to your prospect with a meeting summary. Those are great tools for productivity. But the people that use AI and copy and paste is what's destroying the ability to connect with people. Because I get it all the time. I get them every day. They're a pain in my ass. They're probably a pain in everyone's ass. And it's like, oh my God, how did I get on this list? And I know it's AI. I could tell it's AI. And don't get me wrong, for all of you out there, if I've ever spoken to you, I believe in AI because I believe that editing is easier than creating. Okay. I also know that volume negates luck. And as we increase our volume and being able to deliver a message to somebody in the fastest amount of time, and I'm not saying plug 4,000 people into an automated sequence and send 2,000 emails a day and just pray that something's going to happen and go out and eat fucking bonbons. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being very specific, okay? Your sales functions. What do you do best? Like this dives right into the first one that I want to talk about, okay? So I think as sales reps, we really need to focus on our mindset and what we do best. So, for example, if you're a sales rep that says you do everything, cut the bullshit. You know you don't. No company is great at everything. Okay. I've been at billion-dollar corporations where we've had the 5 levels of service, the 6, the 7 levels of service. I've had multiple 5-star customers. And what we might do in, say, a warehouse function is not quite the level of another warehouse, but in 3 other functions, we are stellar. So they'll take the 10% less productivity in a warehouse. And what I mean productivity, I mean like maybe it's reporting or whatever, not getting freight out the door. It'll take 10% less there to enhance the other activities. So, but you don't do it the best, okay? Hands down. If you do, you're lying to yourself and your company's lying to you. That's fact. No one company does everything better than any other company because certain companies specialize in certain things, right? They stay to their lane. So that's first, right? This mindset that we can do everything needs to change. Above and beyond that mindset, the mindset that you really need to focus on is staying positive. Because in this market, and I'll share with you a personal story. When I got back into selling after I started to get better, I realized the industry had changed. And not only did I realize the industry had changed, I didn't like what it became because I was focused on the negative. Okay. When we stop focusing on the negative and we start really focusing on the positive, I have the opportunity. I get to sell every day. I get to meet new people. I get to have the conversations. I get to get better at email marketing. I get to get better at cold calling. I get to get better at video creation. I get the opportunity to do these things. I had a buddy during the 2008, 2009 fallout. For all of you that were in logistics at that time, it was a horrible time in the industry. Pretty much exactly what we're going through right now, except globally, the economy just collapsed. Okay. And I remember having a conversation with him and he said, Dan, I've got this plan. I'm out of the office 3 days a week. The 2 days a week I'm in the office Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm following up with emails from my walk-ins for 3 days. And I was like, well, it's an interesting process. I'd love to, keep the stats on it. Let's continue to talk about it. And throughout the year, we had massive conversations into 2010, 2000. And you know what? He stuck with that for a year. And the next year, he was the top sales rep in his company. Now, he sold trailers. So you can imagine when the economy drops out, when companies are not making money, they stop buying equipment. And his process, after a year of being consistent, worked. But he never let up. He continued to do what he did. Because here's the thing, okay? And here's the big takeaway from what we're experiencing right now. We're in a valley. We will be at the top of the mountain very soon. Very soon. So understand, what you do in the valley determines how you get to the top of the mountain. And let's talk about getting to the top of the mountain, because here's one thing that I truly believe we in this industry need to double and triple down on. It's what our company is doubling and tripling down on now. Excuse me. It's what we are focusing on. We are eroding our margins to double and triple down on getting the right vehicles into the company to help everyone succeed. And that is things like sales training, new systems, vehicles to help you do things faster, be better, be more efficient at what you're doing, opportunities, AI, like everything that we're looking at. And we're exploring so many options. It's literally probably 20 to 30% of my day is spent exploring options. And will this work for our customers to make them more efficient? Will this work for my team to make them more efficient? Will this work for the executives to make them more efficient? Because now, in this downtime, is the prime opportunity to figure out what processes are going to take your company, your sales to the next level. Okay? This is critical in this time. And the thing is, it's a total opposite mindset of what most companies are doing right now. Most companies are pulling back. They're not investing. They're not doing it. Oh, I got to watch my dollars and cents. Yes, you do. Don't get me wrong. We can't spend more than we make or else we will die. But we have to change that mindset if we are going to make it through. All of the dynamic companies, all of the companies you see that explode, and you're like, where did they come from? It's because they invest in the right tools, they have the right strategy, and they hone and develop these strategies, and they stick to it. Okay. Number 2, find the right prospects. Like, now is the best time to find the people that are going to be the long-term generators for your business. Who are the people you serve the best? Like really think about this for a second as a sales rep, okay? As a corporation, what are your ideal clients? Every corporation knows what size business, what type of freight, what areas they make the most money in. Let's call a spade, okay? I'm sorry, if your shippers are watching this, it's about dollars and cents as well. Because if I'm making 4% margin on your company, I can't serve you the way you want to be served. It's just a fact. Everyone has to make money. And on the flip side, for all you shippers watching, if you're not making money, that's no good to me, because if you go out of business, I just lose a customer and probably get stung, right? If I go out of business, you lose a supplier and probably get stung as well. So we are so congruent, but yet we're so separated. And it's fucked up. I don't understand how that process and mindset, I'm still diving into that, but it's reality. We're so congruent because our businesses are so intertwined, but yet we're so separated at times, right? Doesn't make sense. But the thing is, after the right systems, the right vehicle to get you where you need to go, then we need to really start looking at finding the right prospects. If you decide that email is the way you're going to go, get insanely good at email. If you're going to do it via phone, get insanely good at cold calling. If you're going to do it via video, get insanely good at video, right? Deliver the message, deliver it with authority, with power, a great call to action. What do we need to do next? If you're interested, if this aligns with what you want, then we need to talk, hands down. Believe in what you're doing. And now more than ever, people are losing belief in what they're doing, right? They're feeling like they're telemarketing by selling. They feel like they're doing all of these things that have a negative impact on your mindset. Okay? That's for that one. Number 3 that I want to talk about is don't push the sell, right? I've had the privilege of speaking with so many shippers. And in my sales process, I've had the majority of them come back and say, you know what, Dan, at this point, our volumes are in half and we've got twice the amount of suppliers. You can't push that prospect, because here's the thing. I always look at it like this, and some of you might completely disagree with me, and that's fine. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. The reality is, I would honor my customers if I was one of their suppliers and they're doing what they're doing. Those are the people I actually want to do business with. So what am I going to do? I'm going to sit back. I'm going to say, I honor that. Can we stay in touch just in case something happens? Because I do know, and so should you, as we go into this industry and as this market, if you will, starts to move in different directions, right? If you watched Data Day yesterday, you'll know the produce season is so convoluted when it's amazing what's happening. So what's going to happen? Carriers are going to move their equipment to areas that satisfy their needs. That means if they move from, like, just hypothetically, a dry van carrier moves from servicing, Dallas, Texas, and their freight's drying up. They're not making any money. It's so competitive. Rates are dropping. They're not making the margins they need to make to stay in business. What are they going to do? They're going to move. Maybe they're moving to Tennessee. Maybe they're moving to Arizona. Maybe they're moving to Georgia. Maybe they're moving to North Carolina. They're going to find new triangles to start generating revenue. It's just what they have to do to survive. So companies are going to lose these suppliers because of volumes, not just their volumes, but other volumes with other customers in the air. Maybe a customer sending them there is going to lose the volume going there because they're going to lose that customer to another person, another manufacturer, right? So there's all these variables, and we as sales reps should really stay in the know of that. So here's an example. Let's say you've got something like, your DAT rate view, your rate index with load link, whatever the case may be, Sonar even, ITS, like Green Screens AI, like all of these companies that offer you data on rates, right? One thing I found great value in is when we're speaking with prospects and they say, well, we go from here to here. And you know what, Dan, like right now we're good. Like things are not really shifting. We've got no need to switch. We've got half the volume. I call my guys, they're here in 3 seconds because it's like they're just waiting around the corner, right? I'm not going to convince that person. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a note in my system and be able to mark my system with a reply or with a task, with a solution for me to say, hey, get a hold of this person every month, check this lane, and send them a report. And it's all I'm going to do. And it takes me 3 seconds, but I stay in front of the prospect. And what do I mean by that? So you take, Origin, Dallas, for example, going to Charlotte, North Carolina. Origin, Dallas, Texas, you're going to Mississauga, Ontario. Origin, Dallas to wherever. These are the lanes. And once a month, maybe once every 2 weeks, if it's very dynamic and you see things shifting in the market, review that lane. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, just wanted to send this to you. I'm not sure if you're aware, but capacity's down in this market. Volumes seem to be up. Here's kind of the shift in pricing. Don't know if you're seeing it with your suppliers, but I wanted to keep you aware of the situation. That's value. That's adding value. And in the end, you will be the resource that your prospect needs when the market turns. I believe this wholeheartedly. Okay. So that's what I mean by don't push the sell. Okay. Now, number 4 is ask the hard questions. This is one thing that I see. And to be totally transparent, when I got back into sales, after my sabbatical, call it, I had a hard time asking. I had a hard time asking the hard questions. Like, what's the reality of what you're thinking? What's the reality of your market? What do you see happening? Why do you see it happening? What's the outcome you're looking for? These are all questions that I think as sales reps, we really need answers to. Because if we don't have answers to them, I think we're lost in the sea of generality, right? So ask the hard questions. You know what? If I do this, are you willing to make a move? I know you're not looking now, but when are you looking for? Well, I don't know. Why would I know? Well, just asking because I want to get back in touch with you because I do believe your area is going to be volatile in the next little bit. But because of that, I want to make sure that I serve you and I'm here to help. So when can we get back in touch? Well, I don't know. Just call me whenever. Okay. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to schedule a call with you. And that way I'm not catching it at an opportune time. See, to me, that's a hard thing for a lot of sales reps to do because, okay, no problem, I'll call you back because you don't want to piss the person off. But I would much rather have a scheduled call so I know when I use my time, it's being used valuably. So here's the thing. As a sales rep, I don't care what you sell, if it's logistics, if you've caught this show and you're not in logistics, I don't care what it is you do. Everyone's time's worth the same. It's the value you put on your time that matters. Everybody has a finite amount of time. And I don't want to get philosophical here and get into the woo and wah of time. The reality is we only have so much time. There's only so much time in a day for you to sell. You're not selling to people at midnight. You're not sending, emails out or making phone calls at 9:00 in the evening. That time's reserved for your growth, your education, your family time, for miscellaneous things. During the golden hours, as Jeb Blunt calls it, it's critical that you get as much done as possible, right? But also, when we look at that, your time is valuable just as their time is valuable. So don't honor anyone else's time above and beyond yours. And some of you might be saying, Dan, are you friggin' crazy? No, it's true. Like, no prospect or customer's time is worth more than my time. All of our time is equal. I don't want to waste my time just as much as I don't want you to waste your time reading stupid emails from me, getting on a cold call where I can't serve you. This is where our ICP, this is where everything we do comes down to the nucleus of, can I serve you? Because if I can't serve you, go find somebody that can. Wait for that individual that will come back and can serve you at the highest levels. This is critical. Number 5, stay the course. I think in this market, sales reps are getting more and more frustrated. Sales reps, I see it every day. I have so many people coming to me talking about the frustrations and I'm not getting results. I'm like, okay, well, what are you doing? And they're just taking a shotgun approach and spraying. And I've had people tell me, well, Dan, you kind of do a shotgun approach. And I do not. And here's the reason, is I'm very focused on my message. I'm always offering up value to anyone I speak with. And I say, here is who I serve best. Does that resonate with you? Because if it doesn't, you will find somebody that it resonates with. Every person, every contact, every prospect I think of, I'm always saying, this is who I serve best. Is that what you're looking for? Because if it's not, I'd rather not waste any more time you reading, you watching this video, or you engaging in a conversation. I don't want you to do that because I can't offer what you're looking for. If you're solely focused on price, and price is the only determining factor, I'm probably not the best person for you. And some of you might say, well, neither am I, Dan, but are you? Because if your message is focused on price, then you're selling price. That's all you're selling. So a couple of things for you to think about, right? And just in closing with this show, I want to honor you because what we're going through right now is very difficult. That's the reality of it. It's challenging. It probably keeps a lot of you up at night. It probably has you cranky. I know some days it has me cranky. Just the fact that, and here's full transparency for you guys again. When I was in the game 100%, I was generating massive revenues, serving customers at the highest levels. And now, over the 2 years I was sick, I lost those clients, and it's starting from scratch. And I can tell you, it's challenging as hell. My mindset, I'm constantly working on my mindset because it's so easy just to get unbelievably cranky. And trust me, I've been cranky. You can ask my wife. She'll tell you straight up, yeah, you're a prickly peach. But it's how do you maintain that? So this is not things I've mastered. These are things I'm realizing I need to master. And hopefully that resonates with you because I think in the end, we all need this message. We all need to shift that mindset. I was on the phone with a student this morning. He's like, I'm not getting results. I go, but what are you getting? Says everybody and saying no. I go, that's results, because you're not what they're looking for. So if we change that mindset, like how do we, and again, I don't want to, dig back into things we've talked about on previous episodes, but the reality is some will, some won't. So what? Move forward. Consistency, that volume negates luck mentality. Just keep going. You're going to find those individuals. And I refer to it all the time. It's like a party. You go to a party and there's 100 people there. You might get along with 2 or 3, really get along and create maybe 1 or 2 really good friendships moving forward. That's success, my friends. It really is. Success is waking up every morning and having the God's gift to sell, to be able to do what you do. I've said this before. Ryan said it to me. I said, I got to sell today. It doesn't mean you get to. You get to. And this isn't just because I've survived cancer. This is in general life. Like, I get the opportunity to do all of this. How friggin' cool is that? And that mindset, I truly believe, will take you to the next level. Until next time, my friends, remember, go out there, make every call educational, and crush your sales. We'll see you soon.